Hello, Joe here again and welcome to Mont Marte TV. I received an email the other day from Jennifer of Broadbeach, and Jennifer writes, I have tried on several occasions to paint a palm tree with disappointing results. Could you please do a lesson on this subject? Well, Jennifer, in today's episode I'll be showing you some of my tricks and techniques as we paint a beautiful tropical palm tree in acrylics. Look at how vibrant the colours are in this painting. And to create that look, I'll be using Silver Series paint for the undercoat because they flow so beautifully and you can just slap them on without a care. The top coat requires a thicker, more buttery paint, and that's where Dimension acrylics really shine. They have the consistency of oils, they have a strong pigment and a really great range of colours. And I'll be doing something a little bit different today. I'll be mixing sand in with our acrylic paint for that textural quality. I'm using lemon yellow, rose madder and purple in the Silver Series for the undercoat, and burnt umber, purple, permanent red, lemon yellow, sap green, turquoise, cyan, ultramarine blue and zinc white in the Dimension range for the top coat. So let's get into it! As always, the first step is to draw our composition, and this couldn't be any more simple. It comprises of a horizon line, 2 lines for the trunk, the fronds, and a little bit of vegetation behind the tree here. To draw my horizon line, I'm just using a rough method with expanding my hand and using it as a guide. Then draw in the palm fronds with quick, easy strokes emanating from the top of the trunk. Our composition is now drawn in. It's time to paint in our underpainting. And to do that, I will be using Taklon brushes. I find Taklon brushes are great with acrylic because the bristles are so soft and you can get a lovely smooth coverage. For the background, I'll be using the 75mm wide Artist Taklon brush. And for the rest of the painting, I'll be using the 7-piece acrylic brush set. I absolutely love these, mainly because I have my favourite brush in there, the Angle. And I love that because it helps me get into tight areas and I can create very sharp edges. So let's get this paint on. Squeeze out your Silver Series lemon yellow, rose madder and purple onto your palette. So when we're putting this paint on, we're going to start with a warm colour background and then we're going to put a cool top coat over it. And this will create a really nice contrast. It'll be so vibrant. Start with your yellow, and this is a really fun part. You can just slap it on there. Paint the fronds with a mix of rose madder and lemon yellow. I'm using a wide brush to apply paint quickly so you don't need to be too precise. Apply a darker orange with flowing strokes down the trunk of the palm tree. Now paint the ocean with purple, leaving the palm tree shadow free of paint. While painting the beach in yellow, mix some into the lower portion of the ocean as well. Our initial underpainting is now done. It is time now for us to apply the sand to our canvas. And we'll be adhering the sand with acrylic paint. A lot of people don't realise that the carrier base in acrylic paint is actually a glue. That's why these paints are so fantastic to use for collages and things like that. So let's put this paint out and get it on. Now I'm roughly applying my paint with a number 17 palette knife. Apply this thickly. We want the sand to stick well. Right, let's put the sand on. Take your canvas and lay it down on the floor to apply the sand. So then you just sprinkle your sand on. This is just normal sand that I got out of my garden. Just try and get the coverage as even as you can. The sand is now dry and I've just brushed off the excess. It's now time to sketch in our tree. Create a neutral tone by mixing your Dimension Permanent Red and Purple together. Then just sketch in the palm tree and fronds using your angle brush. The angle brush, as I said, is one of my favourite brushes. You can see the fine lines you can get with this versatile tool. Now to make a bold statement with the sky. And for this we'll be using cyan blue and titanium white. Just mix 6 parts cyan to 4 parts white. So give that a good stir and then we apply it with our 75mm wide Taklon brush. Paint your bright blue on the areas of sky. The bulk of our sky is done. Now grab your angle brush and we bring the blue into the fronds. Again, the angle is the brush for the job. Just work your way around the tree. Squeeze out burnt umber and zinc white to mix earthy tones. Hit the darkest areas first and then use a mix of burnt umber and white on the sand and trunk. Add a bit more white to the mix and paint in the highlights. A few dry brush strokes will suggest the light filtering through the fronds. Now for some turquoise to paint the ocean. Dry brush the turquoise into the sand and then paint in some ultramarine along the horizon line and on the palm's shadow in the water using the angle brush. When you're putting on the white over your sand, don't worry about covering the whole thing. Some of those little bits of sand look great coming through. Final step is the greens. For this we'll be using lemon yellow and sap green, and we'll be using various strengths of each mixed together. At the end of my fronds here, the light catches it, so I've just added in a little bit of yellow, lemon yellow to create that highlight. Once we've got our green fronds on, I've just mixed up a light greeny yellow and I'm just going to put some highlights on fronds here and there. Add ultramarine to some sap green to create the dark green for the shrubbery. Well, that's about it, I think. I really hope you've gained something from this and feel inspired to create your own tropical palm tree masterpiece. If you have any lessons that you'd like to see, drop us a line at www.montmarte.tv. Until next time, keep on painting.